Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
Every kind.
So he's a businessman.
Right,
he was a businessman.
On his business trip, he met Jews.
Who did he meet?
He met Jews.
He met the Israelites. He met the black people that were the Jews.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Christians and members of other sects.
Go ahead.
He interrogated them
So he's asking them questions.
concerning the tenets of their religion.
What's going on with your religion? What do you believe in?
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
Read that again.
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
He said,
No,
Hand me
you
the Quran.
say show your prophecy, so I'm gonna read
You got a
it.
prophecy?
This is a prophecy right here.
Okay.
Okay.
You got a Quran right there?
When he
Read it.
argued with the Jews,
You own that. You can read along.
When he
go ahead.
when he
And
argued,
compounded it with his new religion.
What kind of religion?
New religion.
Islam is what?
A new religion, Islam.
Islam is a new
How's it
religion.
new?
That's right. It's a
How's it
new,
new?
because
The
he
Bible
was
was
born
written-
in
the
570.
Bible-
You with me?
the Bible was
If the man
written-
was born after Christ died.
the Bible was written 200
And
years
the
after
Bible
Christ
already
died.
was written.
It was written 200 years after Christ died.
No, BC,
The
80.
Bible was written
BC is
in
before Christ, brother.
1611, right?
Your question? Now he did have one more. So what was your question?
Now, first of all, I got some issues with some of the stuff.
Yeah, he a philosopher. He going
I got some trouble with somebody that's wide awoke.
right.
All right. Now,
You don't have no fringes on, brother. You're not wide awoke. Your hat is covered while the scripture's coming out. You're not awoke.
I'm listening to everything you say. I'm hearing what you're saying. I read that book right there 5 times from the front to the back.
But how should you read it? Give me to Isaiah 28.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Give me Isaiah 28, verse 9 and 10.
The book of Isaiah.
There's a way to read the book. Now listen, brother. What I'm actually bringing out to you, this is love. This is nobody not gonna give a damn about you the way I give a damn about you. I'm telling you straight.
Right.
Because somebody who really love you will correct you. Read this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 9.
Come on.
Whom shall teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
So it says, whom shall he teach knowledge? Whom shall he make to understand doctrine, right? He's talking about the Bible here, his words. So it says, how am I going to understand what this book says? Read.
Them that are weaned from the milk
Uh-huh.
and drawn from the breast.
Now hold that real quick. Give me 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2, so we can understand what that milk is.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2.
Hey, sis, you got the flyer, right?
Yeah, I'm at
Please
work.
read the flyer. Okay, please read the flyer. I'm going to deal with you, my brother. Read.
1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 2. As newborn babes,
Read. So now, to someone new coming into the truth, right? Read.
desire the sincere milk of the word.
Desire the basics of what the Bible is talking about. That's what he's saying. Now go back to Isaiah 28. Now watch what it says. Read
The
the
book of
bottom part.
Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
So them that are weaned from, so they're done drinking them basics, right? And that's what it's talking about. You had to get the basics of it. But now, how do I understand the basic necessities that the Bible is talking about? Read the next verse.
Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept.
Precept upon precept, right? Read.
Precept upon precept.
Uh-huh.
Line upon line. Line upon line.
Uh-huh.
Here a little and there a little.
So what that mean? Let me ask.
Everything is a process. That's the basic understanding of that right there. And I understand what you're saying about
I'll give it.
you know, you get a little bit, you grow a little bit. You
What?
get a little bit, you grow a little bit. I get
Okay,
that.
so
I
this
get what you're saying.
Right, now check this out. Check this out. With Christ, right? So you familiar with what Christ was saying, talking about, right?
I don't believe in the crucifixion and all that.
No, watch what I'm saying. When Christ, he used to actually quote, he said, it was true what the word of Isaiah had said, that these men go by the precept of men, for example, right? He used to quote back in the Old Testament, right? In order for you to understand what Christ was talking about when he said that, you have to go to the Old Testament to figure it out.
And I believe that.
Yeah, and like some verses explain other verses. Okay, right.
I
So
don't believe in the New Testament, really.
you say you don't believe in the New Testament?
Not really.
Give me John chapter 5 verse 45.
Bring it
Yeah,
out.
why don't you? I mean, I still want this verse, but why don't you?
I'll explain to you why, because
Well, you just say you didn't believe in
there
crucifixion.
are, how many books in the Bible?
There's really about
60
what? No, it's 80. It's about 80.
It's 64, right? In the King James version, right?
It's 80.
No, 64.
No, it's 80.
No, it's not 64.
I'm sorry, you can give me your Bible. I'm gonna show you something.
It's 64.
Okay, so you see this book? This is. Let me see the front cover.
I'm talking about the King James.
Yeah, King James version.
Yeah, 64.
1611 edition. Now this is there are books in here that was taken out by the Protestants in the 1700s.
Well, in the Catholic Church they got 72 books.
No, it's 80.
In the Catholic Church it's 72.
They don't have all the books either.
It's 72. I'm telling you, it's 72.
But yeah, they don't have all the
Catholic
books.
Church. It's 64 in the Christian Church. Okay, so now
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying they don't have all the books.
I know they don't have all the books. I understand that.
Okay.
So now let's say how many books are in the Old Testament? 27?
Roughly. I want to say no. Is it? Right. Go ahead. Go. I want. Yeah. More, huh?
44 in the Old, 27 in the New, something like that.
That sounds more like it. But go ahead.
Okay. So now, I understand the whole thing about the Old Testament and New Testament because I understand that Christ said that, think not that I came to change it, or I came to but fulfill it.
Not to fulfill it. He didn't say it.
Well, fulfill. But in other words,
okay.
Like okay, modern day Christians and whatnot, or the Anglo-Saxon version of Christianity is that the New Testament supersedes the Old Testament. So that's why there's a division in the churches and whatnot, because you got people who say, well, that was the Old Testament, so they continue to eat swine and whatnot because they don't recognize the Old Testament where, in the book of Deuteronomy, they talked about the split hoof and said and so forth and whatnot.
Right.
They justify, say Christ made all things blessed. I understand that.
Right. Now,
I get that.
now, let me interject on that point. Don't forget your point, because you made some points now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna just clarify a couple points in there, right?
Okay.
Now, first I want to mention this to you. You see this?
All right.
Now, that's the table of contents in the 1611 King James Bible. So it has the Apocrypha in it. That's about 14 books that's in there that they took out, the Protestants. Okay? So I want to touch on that part. Now, the next part, give me John 5, the one that I held.
The book of John, chapter 5 and verse 45.
Now, here's what you have mentioned, what the confusion is in Christianity about how they say, oh, that was in the Old Testament, split the hoof, New Testament, Okay. I agree with you that there is confusion about those two. Now, let me clarify a little bit. Read that.
Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father.
So,
There is one that accuseth you, even Moses.
So now it says there's one that accuseth you, even Moses. Let me break that down. Under the Mosaic law, right? When we was under Moses, they used to get killed for different things that they didn't do. Like, for example, if you were gay, or if you committed adultery, you were stoned to death, for example, right? That was one that accused you. That's what he's talking about there. Read on.
Even Moses, in whom you trust.
So now he says, don't think that I'll accuse you. Like, for example, in this time right now, you're not going to instantly die like you did back when it was under Moses. Right now we have grace, when we know about that, right? I'm explaining grace in a second. There's confusion on that too. There's confusion on that. Hold on, I'm gonna get you.
For had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me.
So if you believed in what the Old Testament said, then you would have known about what Christ was talking about.
Right.
Read.
For he wrote of me.
Because Moses actually wrote of the coming of the Messiah.
Right.
That's what he's saying there. Now, is that it on that? Go to Romans 7 now. I want Romans 7, start at verse 7. Now, it was something about how you said, it was something about when you had said, okay, back under the Old Testament, there were certain laws that they didn't do. And in the New Testament, okay. Now, I want one where it says the oldness of the letter. It's like verse, let me see, 7, start at verse 6.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Watch this.
But now we are delivered from the law.
So now, here's some confusion. Because usually we read this in the Christian church, and then not understanding that it's not talking about all of the law. It's just talking about the law of sacrifice. Read.
That being dead wherein we were held, that we should serve in newness of spirit, and not in the oldness of the latter.
Of the letter.
Of the letter.
Right, and not oldness of the letter. Now, let me explain that. The oldness of the letter is when Moses, he was saying, okay, when you commit such sins, you have to sacrifice for this, or you have to sacrifice for that. You familiar?
I'm familiar.
Right. So, when he's saying now, you are to serve in newness of spirit. Watch what this says. Hold that. Give me Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1.
The book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1.
Come on.
For the law having a shadow of good things to come.
So that's the sacrificial law. Law having shadow. Read.
And not the very image of the things.
And not the actual thing itself. Go ahead.
That never with those sacrifices.
So never with those sacrifices.
Which they offered year by year continually, make the comers unto perfect.
So, right. Now he says, now never with those sacrifices back in the time when we had to do it. He says you were never going to be perfect when it was under the sacrificial law. Right? So
Right.
now, how do we actually reach that perfection? By keeping the laws under Christ. Go back to Romans 7. Now read verse 7.
The book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 7. What shall we say then?
So what shall we say then?
Is the law sin?
So is the laws of God in his whole, is that sin? Should we not do it no more?
God forbid.
Hell no.
That's
We
right.
still gotta keep the laws, but we just are not to do the sacrificial laws anymore.
That's right.
Read.
Nay, I had not known sin,
Uh-huh.
but by the law.
So I didn't even know what sin was except the law explained it to me. Read.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said,
What?
thou shalt not covet.
Right, and that's one of the 10 Commandments.
Right.
So now you can see the difference. Back in the Old Testament, there was a lot of things dealing with sacrifice that we can't keep no more. It's impossible for us to keep it now. There's no temple. We can't get to the city. It's impossible.
Right.
Under Christ, when he had died for us, right? He said,
Can I stop you right there?
no, that's the part I actually know. I know some confusion there.
Hold. Let me stop you right there.
It's not everybody he didn't die for. I want to say that.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Let me hear it. Let me hear
The
it.
whole thing about the crucifixion, the whole thing is a lie. He never died upon the cross.
That's not true at all.
Okay, I can show it to you. It's right there in the Bible.
That's not
Listen,
true.
hold it. I'm about to get it to you
Come
right
on.
now.
By the cross.
I'm about to get it to you
Hey,
right
give me-
now.
Yeah, go to Psalms 22.
All right. No. You keep reading me verses, but I stopped you for a reason.
No, he
I
said-
stopped you for a
he
reason.
said
You
Christ
teaching
didn't
people,
die
but you
by
teaching them false doctrine. You telling people that people died, that he died.
Okay,
to
how
save the
about this?
world.
Let's do this then.
That's
If I'm
false
teaching false doctrine, what's the true doctrine? What's the truth?
It's in the Bible, okay?
Yeah, the truth is in the Bible. Give me Psalms
Okay,
119,
so now
142.
let's look at.
Then I'm gonna deal with that Christ on the cross thing. I'm not gonna let that go.
Oh, wait a minute, hold it. Let me deal with it right now. You got Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, right? 4 Gospels, right? Okay, they all got their information from a source, right? In other words, they say the story similar but not the same. Similar but not the same. For example, let's back up a little bit, right? Okay. So now, when the two Marys came to the cave, right? Are you listening? When the two Marys came to the cave, right? And they said, and the angel who was in the form of a man, and they said they was looking for Esau. Yeah. Okay. They was looking for him. So when he was walking, okay, disguised and dressed as a carpenter, okay, there were 2 other men that were walking, and they were having a conversation about him. And they said, "Did you hear the story about Esau?" And he just looked at him while they were talking about how he was crucified. Now, mind you, now they was crucifying people way before.
That's true.
They crucified him because they had
That's
2
true.
ways of crucifying him.
That's true.
Upon the cross.
That's
in
very
this
true.
case, when they hung him up, okay, and they lanced his side, they didn't break
Matthew
his
27,
legs.
42.
They didn't break his legs, okay?
The book of Matthew,
So-
chapter 27 and verse 42.
Now, hold on. I
Okay, go ahead.
I got you.
Keep going with the story. I'm gonna show you how he ain't down the cross.
Watch.
I'ma
Matthew
show you.
27, 42.
He saved others, himself he could not save,
Uh-huh.
for he be the King of Israel.
So now this is the Israelites starting to toss out contradictions toward him, right? Go ahead.
Let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him.
So if he didn't die on the cross, why the Israelites talking about, oh, let him come down from there and save himself?
Okay, so now,
That was tossing that contradiction.
Okay, so now, when the
How is that the
centurions-
case?
When the centurions went to Prince's palace. Okay,
Explain that verse.
And they said, "Oh, wait a minute." When the centurions went to Prince's palace and whatnot, okay, and told them they were going to take him down from the cross, they said, "How long has he been dead now?" Because the next day was the Passover.
You said it.
The next day was the
How long
Passover.
has he been dead? That's past tense. He already died.
He wasn't dead though.
What?
That's the whole thing, because the next day was the Passover, and it would have been an embarrassment for them to have someone hanging upon the cross. That's why they took him down on the Friday, because the Passover was on a Saturday. And that's why the Christians worship on a Sunday, but their Passover should be on a Saturday.
Hey, my brother. What's your
And
name,
the
my
Jews-
brother?
Khabib.
Khabib, I'm ready you up.
Alright.
I just want to say something on what you're talking about.
Alright.
It's hard to understand resurrection. He was resurrected.
No,
I'm going to use the chapter you brought out. Luke 24. That was what you quoting, right? Luke 24, go to the end of the chapter. Give me verse 50.
Pick it up!
Listen to what it says.
The book of Luke,
This is
chapter
after, give me verse 48 down to 51 real quick.
the book of Luke, chapter 24 and verse 48.
We're just trying to build with you, bro. Just listen to us. Come on.
And ye are witnesses of these things.
So he said, the disciples there are, this is Christ speaking. You are witnesses of these things. Read.
And behold, I spend the promise of my Father upon you.
Uh-huh.
But tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until ye be endowed with the power from on high.
So he said, you're going to receive power. As you know, the disciples got power. Come on.
And he led them out as far as Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them.
So then he blessed them. Now watch this next part. Read.
And it
Because
came-
you said he just came back. He was like a dude. He was a man. Read.
And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them
He departed from them.
and carried up into heaven.
Wait a minute. I thought he was just a dude.
and carried up into heaven.
This dude went up into the sky. He
Right.
went into heaven. Give me Acts 1 where he say the same thing. Hold on, I'm going to show you where he went into. Read.
Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore came together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou come at this time restore again the king? Verse 9. And when they had spoken these things, while they beheld,
While they was watching.
he was taken up.
We're having
That's
a
what we just-
conversation
that's what we just
about him.
read, yeah.
And then when he got to Bethlehem,
Yes.
and he said to his disciples, he said, look, it is I, Esau, Ibn Maryam, meaning Jesus, the son of Mary. And he said, he showed them the holes in his hand. He showed them.
He showed them that.
And then they ate together. They had honeycomb and bread.
back to the example.
Because they had honeycomb and fish. His staple diet was not meat. He ate vegetables and fruits and stuff
Yeah,
like
we just
that.
read that chapter.
So they ate. They had this meal, and then in the midst of them having this meal, they say that where is he? He disappeared. That's the language
They
that
said
they
he
use.
disappeared.
They said he did. That's just like we standing
What
around.
verse says he
Hold up,
disappeared?
it's in there. It
Okay.
says
31.
It
Okay.
says he
I'm
disappeared.
going to read in the
So-
Bible what you're saying. So
Yeah.
you make sure you get it right. Read what he just said. Luke 24:31.
The book of Luke,
Luke 30, then 31. And deal with everything you said. We're going to read down to show you what we're saying. Read.
the book of Luke, chapter 24, verse 31.
Come on.
And their eyes were open.
Yep.
And they knew him.
Their eyes were open. They looking dead at him, but Christ gave them the understanding who he was. He wouldn't allow them to see who he was. Read.
And he vanished
They
out
didn't
of,
say he took off his outfit.
Same thing.
He said-
Disappeared.
Okay.
I said disappeared,
Nope.
vanished.
All right, let me finish though.
That's like we standing around talking.
Yeah.
They wouldn't leave. And somebody
Khabib,
leaves,
let me
yo,
finish,
what's
Khabib.
wrong with- He just disappeared.
Khabib, let's finish. Let's finish. Come on.
and he vanished out of their sight.
Okay.
And they said one to another, did not our heart burn within us while he walked with us by the way, and while he opened us the scriptures?
Now look, we're going to go down to verse 36 in the same chapter.
Why is he eating food?
Look.
Why is he eating food? Why
Because
he
he
eating
been
fish and
resurrected. Watch
honeycomb?
this, watch it, because he was resurrected.
A man that,
Because he was resurrected.
if you call him
Because
God,
he
he
was
don't have no
resurrected.
need for food.
He's resurrected. Watch this. Don't jump down.
Verse 36.
Because it won't just a ghost or spirit. We're going to show that in 36. Just be patient. Come on.
And as they thus
So you
spake,
can look at it.
Jesus himself stood in the midst of them.
What we just read.
Jesus,
Hold on. Vanish. 31. Now we down here. 36. Come on.
verse 36.
Read.
And as they thus spake, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them,
Then he popped back up. As they were talking, after he vanished, he popped back up. Read.
and said unto them,
Come on.
peace be unto
He
you.
said shalom. Read.
But they were terrified and affrighted,
They were scared. Read.
and supposed that they had seen a
They
spirit.
thought they seen us ghosts. It's
Okay,
like,
hold on.
Hi. Man.
Okay,
Bro, it's
hold it,
supposed
hold
to
it.
be dead.
Hold it
It
right
just
there.
popped
Hold it
up
right
in
there.
front
Hold
of
it
you
right
out of
there.
nowhere.
Hold it right there.
That's showing you
Hold
what
it right
happened.
there. Hold it
Do
right
you
there.
understand it?
I do understand it, but
Okay.
hold up. Now explain this.
I
8
just-
days later, 8 days later, he appeared again. And he left.
How can a living man just pop up and appear where you want to appear? How
That's
can
what-
a man that ain't been touched by God resurrected? Like the whole prophecy
What
is to
I'm
be
trying to
buried.
tell you.
Give me Psalms
Okay,
22:14.
and if
I gotta go to the Old Testament. You believe in the Old
and
Testament,
if
right?
if you study anything about if you study the Indian culture,
Indian culture.
if you study the Indian culture and whatnot, they believe that he arrived on their land and he died not at 33, but 133.
Oh, thank God the Bible's only given to the Israelites.
That's right.
That's a whole nother doctrine. In the Bible, it don't say that. Give me
Right.
that.
The book of Psalms,
This
chapter
is the
20,
Old Testament you believe in. Read.
chapter 22, verse 16.
I'm sorry, 16.
For dogs have compassed me,
It said, dogs have compassed me. Read.
and the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me.
Talking about that's the Idumeans around them. There's also the evil Israelites around them. Put them
Right.
to death. Read.
They pierced my hands and my feet.
Wait, this is the Old Testament. What they do?
They pierced my hands
This is prophecy about Christ dying on the cross. They pierced my hands and what?
and my feet.
They nailed him to the cross.
So
Read.
you believe
All right,
Christ died for the
finish.
sins of the world.
I will tell all my
Hold on.
bones.
I will tell all my bones. Read.
What's the difference
They
between
leave-
you and a
Hold on.
Christian?
Brother, build
What's
with
the
me and
difference?
listen to me
What's
for
the
a
difference
second.
between you and a Christian?
I'm going to show you. If you build with me and listen. Read.
They look and stare upon me.
He said my bones look at me because he was beaten so bad you could see his exposed bones. He died a black man's death.
Right.
Hung on a cross. and you can see his bones. He's disfigured beyond recognition.
Right.
Read.
I don't believe that. I believe that
Read.
he was
Verse
trying to
18.
escape.
This the
They-
this
He
the
was,
Old Testament.
I believe he
They
was
part
a
my
warrior.
garments among
He was a
them.
warrior.
Hold on, what
he
they
was
do?
just like
They part
Malcolm
my
X
garments
in his time.
among them.
There wasn't no
The
punk.
prophecy-
They carried
so the
swords.
prophecy is wrong.
His disciples carried swords when they went into the garden
he told
of
them to
Gethsemane
put
and
the
whatnot.
swords
They
away,
stood watching
Khabib.
the gate with swords.
Khabib.
When they were hungry, they pawned their
Khabib,
swords.
Khabib, you're not listening. You preaching.
But no,
Khabib, what you
you're
listen?
making him look like a
The
coward.
Old at no point we call Christ a coward, man.
That's what you're making him look like.
That's the king of the Jews. He's not no coward.
That's
right.
right.
He's going to destroy all the things they have set up to here.
Right.
You just got to be patient. Listen, finish that scripture. What you got?
The book of Psalms, chapter 22, verse 18. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture.
So it cast lots, meaning they betted on receiving his clothes. That happened. Is that it? Keep reading.
Verse 19.
Huh?
But be not thou far from me, O Lord. O my strength has thee to help me.
Okay, go back now. Go me Deuteronomy 18 to 18. I'm going to show you in the Old Testament. It said Christ going to come. He wasn't no coward.
I know he was a
But he
warrior.
humbled himself to the
He was a
cross.
warrior. Right.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 18.
Come on.
I will rise them up a prophet from among their brethren.
This is Moses. Moses, thousands and thousands of years before it happened, he says, I'm going to rise up, the Lord going to rise up a prophet. Read.
Like unto thee.
Like unto you.
And
And
I-
the Lord speaking to Moses. This prophet's going to be like you, Moses. Remember, Moses still
Who was
between.
like Moses? Who was?
It's going to tell you. It's going to tell you. Be patient. Read.
And
Read
I-
again for time.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 18.
Bring it up.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee.
He said, like you, Moses, a mediator. Read.
And I will put my words in his
And I'm
mouth,
going to put these laws and commandments in his mouth. Read.
Hold it right
and
there.
he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
This prophet is going to speak everything.
Is that Christ?
I'm going to prove it. Give me Acts 3. You know I won't.
The book of Acts, chapter 3, and verse 22. For Moses truly said unto the fathers,
Remember, that was Moses we were talking about. Read.
a prophet shall the Lord God, your God raise up unto your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear, and all things whosoever he shall say unto you.
Read verse 18. Who's that talking
Keep
about?
reading to me. You're not
Verse
letting me, you're not
18.
letting me interject. I can't
gotta
do this
listen.
conversation. 'Cause I know these
Read
stories.
18 real quick.
I know
Verse
exactly
18.
what you're talking about.
But those
Break
things
this whole
which
story
God
down.
before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets,
Listen.
that Christ should suffer,
Now who should suffer?
Christ should suffer,
Read.
he hath so fulfilled.
He fulfilled what Moses wrote about him. You
Now
got
hold
that?
it right there. Hold it. I
got that.
can't keep hearing the verses. You
Leave
keep
it.
quoting them and I can't get into
Give
none of what
Matthew
you're
20.
saying.
Give it to him.
You keep going with it. You're not allowing me to address nothing that you're reading. I know the story. I read the book. I'm telling you.
Let me read one more thing to you. All right, I'm gonna let you speak after this.
You're not
But you
letting
gotta
me
do everything
address nothing that
decent
you're
and order.
saying, man.
After
And
this,
it's
you can
not-
address
that's not
whatever
right.
you want.
You can't just keep pouring something into somebody's head and they can't address nothing that you've read.
Brother, I'm gonna let you address
You
it.
can't do that, man.
I'm gonna let you
Ain't
address it
no
after
way to
this.
teach nobody.
You gotta be patient. In school, did you do this at your school teacher in
Yeah,
third grade?
yeah.
You said,
Yeah,
hey,
I
3 plus 3, hey, let me interject
Yeah,
for
I
a second.
challenged him. I
3 plus
challenged
3
him.
ain't 3.
I challenged him.
It ain't 6.
I was a bookworm.
Come on, man.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26,
Treat me
verse
like a brother. Treat me better than your teacher. Read
26 and verse 53.
Come on.
Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father,
that. This is him speaking to his pilot, right? Come on.
and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But now then shall the scriptures be fulfilled.
He said, don't think I can't go call on the Father. He said, how many legions?
12 legions.
12 legions of angels at his disposal. I call troops right now.
Right.
I could call troops right now. It's angels. That's not, I'm not talking about me. That's what Christ said. He said, I call troops right now. You got me because I let you have me. I could call legions of angels right now. Read.
Verse 54. But now then shall the scriptures be
He
fulfilled.
said, but no, I gotta fulfill what's written in Psalms chapter 22, verse 14.
Right.
I gotta go and die. I have to go and die. I have to fulfill what God wrote ahead of time before me. That it?
That thus it must be.
Wait, give me that Philippians. What's that Philippians?
Philippians chapter 2, verse 17.
2 and 17. Watch this. It's gonna explain. 2 verse 7 through 8.
The book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 7.
Come on.
But made himself of no reputation.
So Christ made himself of no reputation, just a regular black man. He made himself a regular black man like his people.
Right?
Read.
And put upon him the form of a servant.
Come on.
And was made in the likeness of men.
That's how Christ was.
Right.
That's not what they teach in church. They
Okay,
teach you
now
God
that-
power. Come on.
And being
I'm almost
found
done.
in fashion as a man,
Uh-huh.
he humbled himself
He humbled himself.
and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross.
Even what?
even the death of the cross.
So he was humbled down to the death of the cross.
Can I back up in the story, man?
Now you just
can I
go
back
ahead.
up 500 feet in the story? You said in the book of Moses, right? You talked about like unto me, right? Who was Moses? Was he a statesman? Was he a prophet? Was he a messenger? Did he have kids? Did he get married? Did he do all them things there? Did Moses do all them things?
Yeah, go ahead.
How can you compare Christ to him? Christ didn't have no kids. He wasn't no statesman. He never got married. Like unto him. He's not like unto him.
He's not like Moses.
No.
Can I prove he is? I can't
no
prove
way,
he is.
shape, form, or
Will you
fashion.
allow me to go in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
Go to Isaiah
Show
chapter
me how
8.
he's like Moses. Show me.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter
A
8.
prophet and a messenger. That's
You
the only
looking
truth.
at no mediator. Moses would beseech the Lord to not destroy the people of Israel.
Okay.
Moses argued for grace. Every time
Okay.
we jacked up in the wilderness and we messed everything up,
Well, they had 9
Moses
plagues.
put his face.
They had 9 plagues.
Listen to me. Moses put his face to earth. And Lord,
That's
please
right. He
take
bowed down.
me
He
instead.
bowed down like a Muslim, didn't
He said, take me. Are you Muslim?
Them questions are irrelevant.
Nah,
Those
bro.
are- they're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant.
You Muslim?
They're irrelevant.
That's very relevant.
Right.
That's very. You believe in Muhammad?
Irrelevant.
You believe in Muhammad?
Those questions are irrelevant in this
You
conversation.
believe in Muhammad?
Why?
Is Jesus Christ the Son of God?
Why? But
Because
why?
that would explain everything. If you fall in the Arab
That
man's
would
religion.
explain everything.
That explains everything. If you fall the Arab man's religion, hand me that right there, somebody. That explains everything.
I'm back.
You said Assalamu alaikum.
I see
That
that.
explains
Hey,
everything.
I see that. I see that.
That explains everything. Here's the problem.
Who was that
Islam.
man's teacher? Who was his teacher? I'm gonna see what you
Who
know.
is
was
that?
his-
First, let me
that's
ask you.
Master
This is my son.
Muhammad. That's
Is that a
Master
white man or a
Muhammad.
black man?
It's a white man or a black man.
Yes.
He's Indian.
Oh, get out of here, boy. That's a white man.
Right.
Boy, Muhammad is a Caucasian man.
Okay.
He's a $5 Indian if he's
check
Indian.
this out. Who was his
Boy,
teacher?
Muhammad is a
Who was his
Caucasian
teacher?
man.
Who was his teacher?
I'm going to show you. What guy?
No, name his
Give
teacher.
me-
Name his teacher.
Give me Amos. Give me
now.
Amos 2:11.
No, name his teacher.
We
Name
got to
his
deal
teacher.
with the Islam thing.
No, name his teacher.
Is Islam a false religion?
Name his teacher.
Is Islam a false religion?
Name his teacher.
Hey, he think Muhammad is a prophet. I don't care what he
Nobody
thinks.
said
You
that.
talking.
No, wait a minute.
Muhammad is not a prophet. Is Muhammad a prophet?
You said Prophet Muhammad?
Yes, Muhammad a prophet.
You're talking about Prophet
Is
Muhammad.
Muhammad, who
1400
wrote the Quran,
or
a prophet?
Yes.
Wrong.
Messenger.
Name one prophecy in the Quran.
Name one prophecy in the Quran.
Don't repeat my question. Name a prophecy. Here's a Quran. Name a prophecy. Go find me a prophecy in the Quran. I'll wait. Go find me one. Because a prophet has prophecies. Meanwhile, read me Amos 2:11.
The book of Amos, chapter 2 and verse 11.
I'm going to show you who taught that man. Come on.
And I raised up your sons for prophets,
God said, I raised up of your sons for prophets. Right?
and of your young men for Nazarites.
Come on.
It is not even thus, O ye children of
Who are
Israel.
the prophets?
Children of
Who are
Israel.
the prophets?
Children of Israel.
The children of Israel are the prophets.
That's
Not the Ishmaelites who founded the religion of Muslim,
Right.
of Islam. That is a plagiarism of the Bible. You got the plagiarism of the Bible in your hand right now. And we can go through that and prove to you the Quran is a plagiarism of the Bible. The Quran itself says read the Bible.
Right.
But the Bible says don't read the Quran.
Right.
Give me that. Listen to this right here.
Bring it up.
This is from Babylon to Timbuktu.
Why you looking? This is from Babylon Timbuktu about the Islamic religion and Muhammad. Because he asked who taught him. We're going to talk about who taught him.
Page 45.
Come on.
Muhammad was born AD 570.
Wait a minute. 570 years after Christ died.
Right.
Well, over. He got nothing to do with the gospel of God. You weren't in the Old Testament. This is a new thing compared to Christ.
Right.
If Christ, he's 33 years old. He around 33 AD. You talking 500 years later?
Okay, look.
Some guy come up with religion? Read.
In his youth, he was never taught to read or write.
Wait a minute.
So,
How you
go
got a
back.
religion? You can't read or write.
Okay.
Right.
Muhammad could
So-
not read or write.
So that's why.
After
Hold
Muhammad
on.
became a camel driver,
What was he?
a camel driver.
The Arabs are still doing that today.
No,
It's
he
on
wasn't no
taxi
camel
driver.
driver.
Hold on, read again.
He was not a camel driver.
After Muhammad became a camel driver,
Hey, bro, we got proof right here. You show
He was
your
not a
proof.
camel
You
driver,
want.
though.
Show the proof.
He was not a camel driver.
This is a black man
He
wrote
was
it.
not a
And the
camel
black man
driver.
wrote it.
I don't care. He was not a camel driver.
Re-
That was his
he
profession.
traveled
Just
to
prove he wrong.
remote
He wasn't a camel driver. That's not his
and,
profession.
and Greek islands. He led his caravans to Persia, Syria, and Egypt,
He traded
transacting
in soup and other
business with
garments.
merchants of every kind.
So he's a businessman. Now watch
Right,
that.
he was a businessman.
On his business trip,
On these business trips,
he met Jews. Who did he meet? He met Jews,
he met the Israelites. He met
right.
the black people that were the Jews.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Christians,
He did.
and members of other sects.
Go ahead.
He interrogated them,
So he's asking them questions.
concerning the tenets of their religion.
What's going on with your religion? What do you believe in?
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
Read that again.
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
You said
No,
how?
you
Hand me the
say, you
Quran.
say show your prophecies. I'm gonna read.
You got a
it.
prophecy?
This is a prophecy right here.
Okay.
Okay.
You got a Quran right now?
When he
Read it.
argued with the Jews, when he argued
You
with
own
the
that,
Jews,
you can read along.
when he
Oh,
when,
okay, good.
when he
And
argued,
compounded it with his new religion.
What kind of religion?
New religion.
Islam is what?
A new religion, Islam.
Islam is a new
How's it
religion.
new?
That's right.
It's
How's
a
it
new,
new?
because
The
he
Bible
was
was
born
written-
in
the
570.
Bible-
You with me?
the Bible was
If the man
written-
was born after Christ died.
the Bible was written 200
And
years
the
after
Bible
Christ
already
died.
was written.
It was written 200 years after Christ died.
No, BC,
The
AD.
Bible was written
BC is
in
before Christ, brother.
1611, right? It was
No,
200 years
no.
after Christ
No, the
died.
Bible was not written in 1611. It was translated to English in 1611.
Right.
King
Right.
James authorized the translation
Written
of the
in
Bible.
Okay, so it was
Well, when did
written.
Moses live? Moses lived in 1611? Come on, brother. I'm going to show you. Can you?
No. Who wrote the Bible?
Bro, how you going to say no?
12
I said I'm going to show you.
Put it together.
I'm going to show you.
12
Tell me.
Chronicles.
You don't have
I'm going to show you.
12 Chronicles.
Give me
King
First
James had
Thessalonians.
King James had 12 Chronicles.
First
to
Thessalonians
transliterate the
5:21.
Bible. Because it was
The
in
Bible?
Hebrew, from Hebrew,
The first 5 books
to Greek,
was written by
Greek
who?
to Latin, from Latin to English. It went
Moses. Am I right or wrong?
It went through 4 transliterations.
No.
Yes.
It
No.
went through 4
Prove it.
transliterations.
The book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5,
Let's
and
go.
verse 21. Prove all things.
So y'all got to prove it. We proving
It
that
went through 4.
we proving Islam a new religion with books.
It went through 4
Hold, give me the
transliterations.
Quran.
Read
Hold
that.
fast
Chapter
that which is
23
good.
right there. That's the revelation right there for you.
It's funny.
Chapter 23. That's the revelation for you right there. That's right. That right there is a revelation. Chapter 23.
Oh,
Oh
we got
yeah.
a revelation for you. Hold that. Read that for me.
I mean, y'all are beating.
This is in the
Bible
Quran. This is
verses written by a
listen.
white
Listen.
man
You Muslim too?
to a- No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
Listen,
saying
for you
you're
Muslims,
reading Bible
we're going to read
verses
out the
written by
Quran. We don't
white
study the
people
Quran,
in
but we know
black
what's in
people's
it.
head. There was no Bible.
This is the
in
Quran.
Africa.
Right.
Third surah,
Right.
verse
Right.
80.
No. Listen. This is answering you. This is in the Quran. So you believe it.
Say, we believe in Allah and what He's been sent down to us.
Oh, where you at?
Third surah, verse 84.
Verse
Saying,
484.
we believe in Allah and what has been sent down to us, and what was sent down to Abraham, Ishmael,
right.
Isaac.
Hold on. It's sent to who?
Abraham, Ishmael,
and
Isaac,
Abraham living in 1611? No.
No.
and Jacob, and the tribes, and in the books given to Moses.
The
That's
book's
right.
given to who?
Moses.
The people
So Abraham had 2 sons,
said
right?
they believe.
He had 2 sons,
Muhammad
right?
said he believed.
Abraham had 2 sons.
Talk about what's in the Quran. He said, I believe in the books sent to Moses.
And yes, he
And
did.
Jesus.
And who?
Jesus.
Well, Muhammad believe in what?
Jesus.
The books
Okay.
came from Jesus.
Okay.
You alive, brother?
And the prophets from their Lord.
The prophets is still in the New Testament.
Okay, but hold on. Let me
Matthew,
hold. Let me
Mark,
stop you.
Luke,
Let me stop you.
John.
Don't go no further.
We make
Don't
no
Oh, we read out of the
distinction.
Quran now.
We make no distinction between one and another.
That's
He
right.
said there's no difference between
That's
one
right.
another of them. So
That's
they're
right.
all valid, especially the ones that came from Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's right.
So you believe the words of Jesus
how
Christ,
can,
right?
How can
You
how
believe
can
the words of Jesus
How
Christ.
can the Quran accept and
Give me Isaiah
recognize
34:16.
all of the prophets of old,
Easy.
and you not accept the prophets?
Perfect.
Concerning
That's
Islam?
a great question. How can the Quran accept the prophets
And how
of
can you
old,
not accept-
and
how
how
can
can
you not accept
the
Muhammad as a
Bible
prophet?
not accept the new prophets?
No, how can
Easy
you-
question. How can I? Okay.
How can you not accept?
Okay, me.
When
Because I
you
read the
know
Bible.
he was- you know he
34:16.
The
was
book of Isaiah, chapter
Here's
34.
why I can't humble down to Muhammad, this brand new prophet that showed up on the scene.
How?
Read.
When did
Isaiah
that son, Abraham had
34:16.
two sons?
Watch this.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Seek out the Bible and read it.
No one of these shall fail.
Nothing in the Bible shall fail.
None shall want her mate.
Nobody needs to make nothing with the Bible.
Bring it up.
Quran don't go with the Bible. Read
For my mouth it hath
the
commanded.
brother that scoffed and walked off, but that's where the Bible got written of. God's mouth commanded the Bible to be constructed. Read.
And his spirit it hath gathered
The
them.
Spirit of God gathered the books, because this is
You know
more
what,
than
yo,
one book.
you're making a
The
one-sided-
books was gathered together.
You're making a
Read.
one-sided
And he has
argument.
cast the lot for them.
Deuteronomy 32:26. It is a one-sided argument because God is right.
You making a one-sided argument.
Because we proved in the Quran,
I'm
the
saying-
Quran says read the
You know
Bible, go
what?
by
And I'm
everything in the
getting
Bible.
ready.
The Bible says do
Y'all
not
got
put
microphones.
anything with the Bible.
Y'all got
Come on.
microphones.
So if you want to get a microphone, don't get your microphone
Y'all
and come
got
back.
microphones.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 17. They sacrifice
That's
them
why,
to...
listen, hold on. That's why we say decently in order. We want to hear you out, but you interjecting and you're not supposed to interrupt the man in his speech.
Y'all just running, and y'all not allowing
Give
the
me some
person
like 11
to back
seconds.
up or to deal with a
Hold that.
verse when you read it. Nobody can address
But we read out of the Quran and you ain't deal with it.
Okay, I gave you the Quran.
and we read out of it. Do you agree with what the
I gave you
Quran
a
says?
revelation.
And you asked me a question. How can I go against what the Quran says? But the Quran says don't argue against the Bible. You wouldn't let me finish my answer.
Can I make a statement though? Can I educate you now?
No, you can't educate me. You talk
No,
though.
I can educate you because you think you're educating me. So I'm
No,
going to educate you.
Bro, I'm
Abraham had 2 sons.
Yes. No, he did not.
Yes, he did. So you don't accept Ishmael as being a son.
I'm going to show you in the Bible.
If you say Ishmael is not a son, I'm walking away.
Ishmael was born of Abraham. He was born of
he his
Abraham.
son?
I'm going to read
Was
it.
he his son?
Can I read it? You know what I
I'm going to
want?
walk away, I swear. Wallahi. If you say he was not his son, I'm going to walk away. Because that's where the 12 tribes of Israel came from.
The 12 tribes came from
and
Israel?
Isaac. That's why Christianity
Hold on, wait.
first cousins.
Hold on, let me understand you. You
I
said
can
the
show
12
it to you.
tribes came out of Ishmael.
They came between Ishmael
You know what I want?
and Isaac. That's where
Okay,
they
read
came
that.
from.
I'm going to read the Bible. I'm not going to give you no...
Father of
my
many
opinion.
nations. You know what
This is the book of Genesis.
Listen, this is Genesis. You believe in Genesis, right?
Just read.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham
Tested Abraham.
and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. Verse 2. And he said, Take now thy son,
The Bible says, take now thy son.
thine only son,
How many sons?
only son, Isaac,
Hold on, how many sons?
thine only son, Isaac.
God does not accept Isaac. Does not accept Ishmael.
So you telling me
He
that
rejected
that's
Ishmael.
the
Keep
only,
reading.
that's the only prophet in the
Whom
Bible
thou
that's considered God's
lovest.
son.
Hold on, what?
That's the only prophet in the Bible that's considered God's son.
You said, who is?
That's,
Who?
you said Isaac is the only prophet in the Bible that is
No,
considered.
I'm not saying that.
Okay,
No,
because
no,
there's
no.
many places
Amos 2:11
where other
again.
people are quoted as his son.
Amos 2:11 again.
Bring it out.
No, I'm not saying just Isaac.
The book of Amos, chapter 2 and verse 11. And I raised up your sons for prophets,
Okay.
and
I
of
raised
your
up
young men
For your sons for who?
for prophets.
I raised up of your sons for prophets. All the sons he's talking about are prophets. Read.
And of your young men for Nazarites.
And of your young men for Nazarites, people dedicated to the Lord. Read.
It is not thus even.
Is it not even thus?
It is not even
No,
thus.
Is it not even thus?
Is it not even thus?
It says, is it not? That's what it's saying. Is it not so?
O ye children of Israel.
Who's the prophets?
Children of
Who are
Israel.
the Nazarites?
Children of Israel.
Only the Israelites are. Joel 2:27. Joel 2:27, real fast. Joel 2:27.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27.
Guess what? Ishmael is in the Bible, absolutely. Guess what? God made Ishmael a mighty nation. He gave him 12 kings. He is not the chosen son of Abraham.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of
In the
Israel.
midst of Ishmael,
Israel.
it says Israel,
And that I am the Lord your God,
I am Israel's God.
and none else.
Wait a minute.
So now
Hold up. Ishmael too?
And none else.
You said that's not true? That's the Bible.
That's the
Read.
thing.
And none else. And my people shall never be ashamed.
What does that mean? I will be
Y'all don't
quiet
let
now.
nobody interject.
I'll be quiet.
Y'all read.
What does that mean?
Y'all read. Y'all constantly read.
Take the emotions out of it, bro. We out here for you, bro. Take the emotion out of it. Now I'm talking to this brother right here. Take the emotions out of it. Do you hear what he just said in the Old
I heard what he
Testament?
said.
Do you agree or
Let's go back.
disagree?
Let's go back.
Do you agree or disagree with that right there?
I'm disagreeing.
Why would you
I'ma tell
disagree
why I
with the
disagree.
word of
I'm
God?
going to disagree. I'm going to tell you why.
Why? Because you love Allah more than you
No.
love the Most High God?
No, because I told you in the beginning that the Bible was originally put in Hebrew, and from
Yes.
Hebrew to Greek,
Yes.
from Greek to Latin, from Latin to English,
That's right.
So it went through 4 transliterations, right? Okay, so
Translations.
what little bit that we have of it that we are trying to understand, because we know we're dealing with the Anglo-Saxon version
That still
of,
means angelic sons of Isaac.
That's right. We're dealing with his
You know
version.
that's still talking about black people. You
That's
say
it.
Anglo-Saxon.
No, we
Angelic sons of Isaac.
No, we're
That's
talking
the
about
black people.
We're talking about
Right.
Anglo-Saxons, the Europeans.
No. You talking about say European. Anglo-Saxon is black people. Go ahead.
Okay, so now, you
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
tell me that the luster is the same because the language has changed 4 times.
How many times was the Quran translated in English?
1 time.
The Quran
One
is out there.
time.
How many different
One-
versions of the Quran is
one-
out there?
there's
Can
only-
you read the original Quran?
In Arabic, yeah.
You can read it in Arabic.
Yeah, I can read Arabic.
So if we pull it up in Arabic, you
Yeah,
got
go
that
get
funny
me
little
one. Go
squiggly.
get me
No,
one.
no.
Go get me one.
Pull up your phone.
Go get me one.
Pull up on your phone. He just had the article.
Yeah, I can read the
Don't lie to
language.
me, bro.
Bro, I can read
You
the
know you
language.
cannot read
Bro,
that.
go get me the language, bro. Come on, bring
All
it
right, why
to
you
me,
getting
bro.
that? You read what you got.
Bring it to me, bro. Bring it to
This
me.
is Romans chapter 9 and verse 7.
Listen to this.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
Guess what? Ishmael was the seed of Abraham.
I know he was.
Are they all
But
children?
it ain't because you see the Abraham make you the child of God.
Right.
But in Isaac.
But in who?
But in Isaac
But in Isaac,
shall thy seed be called.
in Isaac, your seed's gonna be called and chosen.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh.
That's Ishmael, Moab, all of them. Those are the children of the flesh.
These are not the children of God.
Hold on, what's Ishmael?
These are not the children of God.
Most Christian churches don't even know that. Ishmael is not the child of God.
Right.
Edom is not the child of God.
Right.
These are not the children of God.
But the children of the promise.
That's Isaac. The children of the promise, the children of Isaac, the children of Jacob or Yaakov.
Are counted for the seed.
Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 4 and verse 22.
Now it's going to talk about Ishmael.
For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons.
See, Abraham had 2 sons. Read.
The one from the bondmaid.
One from the bondmaid, that's Hagar. You remember Hagar the Egyptian? Come on.
And the other by the free woman.
By the free woman, which is? Who's the free woman? Sarah.
Verse 23. But he who was born of the bondwoman.
That's Ishmael. He that is born of the bondwoman.
Was born after the flesh.
He is the children of the flesh.
But he of the free woman was by promise.
Was by God.
So you trying to say that? So Abraham sinned.
Verse 24.
Listen.
You saying
I'm
he
not
sinned
finished.
then?
I'm not finished.
Which these things are an allegory.
crazy.
Those
man.
2 things are allegory. That's why it's hard for you to understand. This is an allegory. It's a comparison.
For these are the 2 covenants.
Come on.
The one from the Mount Sinai, which gendered to bondage, which is
Give me
Hagar.
verse 30.
Verse 30.
Watch what it says right here. Remember, because right here in the New Testament, Abraham had 2 sons. Come on.
Nevertheless, what said the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman.
Do what?
Cast out the bondwoman and her son.
Cast out the bondwoman and her son. When you cast out, you are no longer a son. You're no longer heir.
Okay, hold
For
on.
the son of the bondwoman should not be heir with the son of the free woman.
So he has no hope of any inheritance with
Okay,
God.
now hold on.
Cast out the bondwoman, get rid of Hagar.
Okay, can I stop
Remember,
this?
Sarah
Can you
slapped the
stop
hell
this
out of
right
Hagar.
there?
Sarah, our
I
foremother
can't take
Sarah
no more. I
slapped
can't
the
take no
hell.
more.
You can't take no more
No, I
Bible.
can't take no more if you just going straight with the Bible, not to
Galatians
let me
4:16.
interject in none of the story.
We got the Arabic.
You're not letting me interject in nothing. You're
Hold on,
not
I'm
letting
holding.
me-
That's a brother's phone. Hold
You're
on,
not-
I'm holding. You read it. I'm holding
I
close.
need to have it close to me. I don't have my
I got you. That's
I'm
brother.
not
You
gonna
know.
drop it. Take my phone then.
No. Just read it. Just read
Take
it.
my phone.
No, just read it. Just read it.
Whatever.
You gotta unlock it.
You hold it. You go over there. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I'll hold it. Come over here. Hold it.
My whole point is just here, okay? So, how old was Sarah
me
when
that.
she had Isaac? How old was she? She was 199, right?
Yeah, she opened the 90.
So she was okay. So
What's
she
the
didn't
book?
believe that she could conceive, right? And God showed
Right,
her.
and then she did- what
God
happened?
showed her the miracle, but she gave Abraham permission to go into the bondmaid.
He said, use the
Gave her
bondmaid. Yeah.
permission.
Was that God's plan?
It must have been because
No, it was
Abraham
not.
was a prophet.
No, it was not.
It had to be.
Go give me Genesis. Give me the plan. You read what you got. Real
It
quick.
had to
In the
be.
Quran. We're going back to the Quran real quick. This is the Quran. This ain't the Bible. Come on.
This is Surah 2:122.
Can you read that, brother?
Yup.
It's not like you're singing. You reading that for real?
Yes, I'm reading
I
it.
can't even prove you reading it.
Why?
Because I don't understand that language.
Okay,
God
well, then
sent
you don't understand. You
God
don't
sent the
understand.
prophets
You
to
don't
speak in
understand.
different languages. In Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Read that.
O children of Israel,
That's talking about the children of Israel.
O children of Israel,
That's talking about the children
remember
of
the
Israel.
special favor which I bestowed upon you,
That's talking about
and
the
that
children
I
of Israel.
preferred you to all others.
Hold on, wait. Read that again.
O children of Israel,
So the Quran says,
O children of Israel, remember the special favor
remember the special favor
which I bestowed upon
I
you.
bestowed upon you.
That's talking about
Not
children of
Israel.
That's what you read
It's
right
talking
there.
about
The
you
bad
and us, the children of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans.
Right.
In the Quran, because I asked you about prophecy. We dealing with all this other stuff. I want to show you why we believe with the Israelites. We can go in the Bible.
You're no different
and-
from a Christian.
No.
You're no different.
Listen to me.
You're
My
no
brother,
different.
Khabib, I want you to listen to me. I can show you in the Bible slave ships. Can you show me slave ships in the Quran?
Bring it out.
No. Give me Deuteronomy 28:68. I'm going to show you our nationality in the Bible. The hell with the Quran. I'm going to show you in
Don't
the
say
Bible.
that, man.
All
Because I
right.
ain't say the hell with the damn
I'm
Bible.
not saying the hell with you.
Come on, I ain't say the hell with the damn
Is the
Bible.
Bible corrupted?
I ain't say the hell with the Bible.
Come here, bro.
That's wrong, man.
Come here,
You
brother.
bashing another man's faith or bashing
I'm
other
not-
people's religion,
brother.
but here you are standing upon the square trying to teach people yours.
Brother, can I prove
That's
to you?
wrong, man.
Can I prove to you?
That's wrong. That's
Can I
wrong,
prove
bro.
to
Young ass man, come down here. All right, I'm
Say
social justice minister. Can I
you?
say
You a
something?
minister.
Can I say something?
Are you drunk?
About this?
You say you're a minister. You drunk?
Ministry.
Ministry. Are you drunk?
No. Why?
Why don't you kind of sound like it? I'm talking to my brother though. What's your point? Come on.
My point.
Yeah, come here. We brothers, man.
My
How you gonna bug out
point-
because I talk about your book? Come
My
on.
point is,
You know what I want?
the only thing that
That's
we're
down there.
doing
Okay.
is what we're fighting about is we are not seeing our story. We're seeing his story. Somebody else that said that this happened. Everybody that says this happened.
He made a point. He made a point in a few words. His story.
His story.
Who's his story? His Europeans. That's who put the Bible together.
There you go. You just insulted the Bible.
It's the truth.
Can I prove to you black people wrote the Bible? Song of Songs 1 and 5.
Steve.
I'm telling you, you let the white man teach you Islam, but you say the white man wrote the Bible.
White
You
man
can't
didn't teach
prove
me
it.
Islam
Songs of Solomon,
at all.
1 and 1.
chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come on.
The Songs of Songs, which is Solomon.
Who wrote this song? Solomon wrote it. Verse 5.
Verse 5.
that's all.
Hold on.
I am black.
No, he said his story. Solomon wrote Proverbs. Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes. Wrote the Song of Songs.
It's
Hold your
Old
peace. You wrote Wisdom of
Testament.
Solomon.
How many books
And
did Jesus
what
write?
color is he?
How many books
I
did Jesus write?
am black.
What color is Solomon?
I am black.
Black man
That's right.
wrote those books.
How
Give
many
me
books did
Exodus
Jesus
chapter
write?
2.
How many books did
Give me
Jesus write?
Exodus chapter 2. Did Solomon just say he was black?
Did Jesus write any books in the
If you
Bible?
want to scoff, then you're going to scoff. But did Solomon say he was black?
Exodus chapter 2
You heard
verse
that? So who
19.
wrote the Song of Solomon? Was it a white man or a black man?
He said he was black.
He's a black man.
That's
I
right.
asked you how many books Jesus wrote.
Exodus 2
I'm
verse
dealing with the
19.
author of the Bible.
His story.
And they said,
This is God's story. Read that.
this is Exodus chapter 2 verse 19.
How many books
And they
Jesus wrote?
said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds.
Now, if y'all know Bible history, if you know history, this is Moses saving those women of Midian.
How many
Read.
books Jesus wrote?
And also drew water enough for us.
How many books
and
did
watered
Jesus
the
write?
flock.
How many books did
Read
Jesus
again from
write?
top.
And they said, an Egyptian.
They said Moses.
How many books did Jesus
They
write?
said Moses.
They said.
How
Looked
many?
like
They.
an Egyptian.
They.
What color were the ancient Egyptians?
They.
Khabib.
Black.
They were
They
black.
said-
So what did Moses look like?
He was black.
He was black.
Yeah.
What books did Moses write? Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, Leviticus.
He didn't write none of them.
Yes, he did.
he didn't
Who?
write them himself.
Moses didn't write. Moses didn't write nothing. I thought the Quran said to believe the things the Bible wrote.
Right.
You were breaking the Quran, brother.
Right.
You are stepping on the Quran because he said they believe in all the words that the Hebrews wrote.
He had scribesmen. He had scribesmen. He didn't write it himself.
He didn't write that.
He had scribesmen. He didn't write. He had scribesmen. Now, how many books
Acts
did Jesus
chapter
write?
21 and verse 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian?
Paul, who wrote the majority of the New Testament, was compared to what?
Hold up.
An Egyptian.
Wait.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
You just said the Egyptians were black, so what was Paul?
He wasn't no Egyptian.
What was Paul? He's not Egyptian. He said he looked like an Egyptian. So
wasn't
what
no
was
Egyptian.
Paul? Paul was a black man.
Yeah.
The New Testament, the majority of it written by a black man.
Right.
For black men, not Muslims. Amos 3 and 1.
Okay, now hold up. Now
Amos
there's
3 and
27
1.
books in the New Testament,
I'm
right?
gonna read out of the
and
Old
Paul is
Testament
giving
for you.
credit for writing 12 of them with the help
Amos
to
3 and
write
1.
2 of them.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Read that.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of
O
Israel,
children of Ishmael,
O children of Israel,
O children of Israel.
against the whole family which I brought up from the land of
He didn't
Egypt,
bring Ishmael out of Egypt. He brought the Israelites out of Egypt.
That's right.
saying,
Huh?
you only have I
Hold
known,
on, he said everybody?
you only,
You and Ishmael?
you only,
Israel, you only
have I known
have I known.
of all the families of the earth.
Meaning he ain't see all the families on the earth. But Israel, you only have I known. I don't know Ishmael, Edom. I don't know Moab. I don't know the Hagarenes, the Jebusites. All them the children of the flesh. Read. Come on.
You only have I known out of all the families of the earth.
Read.
Therefore I will punish you.
Therefore, I'm punishing you. Ishmael ain't getting punished like the black man. Ishmael ain't getting a knee in the back. Ishmael's in your neighborhoods right now selling you tobacco. Selling you weed supplies. Selling you crack pipes in their damn stores. They ain't going through curses like we is. Read.
Therefore I will punish
He
you
said, I'm going to punish you.
for all your iniquities.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
But
This
hold up,
Bible right here
Israel
don't
was the
apply
one
to
that God
Ishmael.
gave the sacrifice and whatnot.
No,
to
he did
Abraham.
not.
Okay,
He
he the
did
one
not.
that gave the
He
sacrifice
did
to.
not.
Yes,
He
he
did
did.
not. Give me that
And then
Deuteronomy
God said
28:15.
sacrifice
This is the
to
book of
Ram.
Deuteronomy,
You
chapter
gotta
28
sacrifice
and
to Ram
verse
instead.
15.
Let's see what God says in the
But
Bible.
it shall come to
That's
pass,
sacrifice to Ram.
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy
So
God.
who Moses speaking to? Hold that. Give me Deuteronomy 1:1. Let's see if you're talking to Ishmael
You're
right
taking
now.
away from the sacrifice. Okay, when Abraham
Give me,
came
Psalms
to
50.
when God came to Abraham, okay,
This-
when Abraham was going to sacrifice Ishmael,
I'm gonna
he
deal
said,
with
no,
his
don't
point.
sacrifice your
You're not
son.
listening no more. You
Sacrifice
just
the
yelling.
ram.
You're not listening no more. You just yelling. But I'm gonna answer your question regardless. Read it.
Genesis chapter 22 and verse 6. Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac.
Ishmael.
Isaac,
Ishmael.
his son.
Ooh.
And he took a fire out of his head and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am, and my father's son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering?
Guess what? It was supposed to be Isaac.
Right, was supposed to be, but it was Ishmael.
Verse 13.
That's my point.
Verse
And
13.
Abraham lifted
That's
up
my
his
point.
eyes.
You counting us not reading, bro. You counting us not reading. Let's go keep reading.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horn. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son.
Ishmael.
That's right.
Go back up. Go back up.
Verse 6. And Abraham took the wood and the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac,
Isaac. Ishmael went on this
his
trip, bro.
son.
His son. Remember, that's the same chapter where it said Isaac, thine only son.
That's right.
That's what I'm trying to tell you right there. That's
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1.
Nationality in the Bible.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1.
How?
These be the
How
words
you
which
gonna say
Moses
Ishmael
spake
was
unto
his
all
son?
Israel.
Who did Moses speak to?
Unto all Israel.
Ishmael.
Unto all
The
Israel.
Quran is not talking about what's in the Bible. The Bible says these are the words that Moses spake to all Israel. Deuteronomy 28:15. Watch what he warned Israel not to do.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his
So the
commandments
Bible says if you don't listen to God and observe to do all his commandments, read.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
These statues that went to the Israelites, what are you going to do?
that all these curses shall come upon
He
thee
said, I'm going to curse you, Israelites.
and overtake thee.
I'm going to overtake you, Israelites, with curses. Give me verse 32.
Verse 32.
Let's see if this talking about Ishmael or this black man. Read.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What did he say?
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
What are the curses? Flip it around.
Thy
That's
sons
the one.
and thy
Give me the one with Israel. What
daughters
is it?
shall be given
Open it
unto
back.
another people.
Let me see. What's the one with the two slave masters? What the hell is that? I'm going to show you this right here. Look at the bottom. It says, thy sons and daughters shall be what?
Given unto another people.
You see that? It says, to be sold a cargo of 94 prime healthy Negroes. Not Muslims. Not Israelites. Not Arabs. Prime healthy Negroes. That's Bible prophecy. Read.
And thine eyes shall fail with longing for them all the day long.
It says you're going to fail for longer for your children all the day long in slavery. Come on.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Brother, you're an Israelite. You're not an Ishmaelite.
That's right.
That is
That's
the
your
Arab
story. I'm
religion.
gonna let you tell it.
If you-
I know better though.
Don't go away, man. Just go away.
Go over there and say Assalamu alaikum in the midst of them, in the midst of them.
You,
Go
because
say
Christ
that.
said,
Come on.
Christ said,
This is the
shalom.
book of Amos,
Christ said shalom.
chapter
That
2,
means peace.
verse 11.
He said shalom. Why can't it say assalamu alaikum? Esau said shalom.
You can't leave in no false doctrine and think you're going to be all right. I can't bid you guys speak. Give me that 1 John. 3 John.
Bring it up.
3 John? 2 John. I can't bid you guys speak, bro. I need to bid you repent. You got to come out your sins, bro.
2 John chapter 1 and verse 10. And if there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not in your house, neither bid him Godspeed.
So if you don't come teaching what Christ taught, we can't bid you guys speak. We can't say shalom like that. If you say repent, you say repent, because why? You're going to spread Islam. Islam is not the religion of the black man. Islam is the religion of the Arab man. You're a slave master in the sub-Saharan slave trade.
That's right.
They forced that religion on you. Yeah.
For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds.
If we bid you guys speak, we in as much evil as you in.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.